My name is Eliza Morgan, and the soil over my husband's grave was still damp when his mother tried to erase the rest of my life. The cemetery was quiet, in that hollow way places become after everyone has already said what they came to say. People had begun to leave in small clusters, their voices low, their footsteps careful, as if grief might crack under too much noise. I stood there alone, staring at the mound of earth that was supposed to hold Noah. 5 months pregnant and already a widow. I was still trying to understand how both things could be true at the same time, how my body could be creating life while everything else had already ended. Then Diane stepped beside me. She didn't touch me. She never did. Even when she hugged others, even when she accepted condolences, she kept something of herself held back. With me, there had always been distance. Polite, controlled, deliberate. She slid a thick envelope into my hand like it was something routine, something expected. "There's a clinic," she said quietly. "Alder Street. They won't ask questions." For a second, I didn't understand. My mind was too slow, too heavy. Then it landed. My hand moved instinctively to my stomach. "I'm not doing that," I said, my voice barely holding together. "This is Noah's child." Her expression didn't change immediately, but something flickered, quick, almost hidden. Not softness, not quite. "It was Noah's child," she corrected. "You need to start thinking realistically." Realistically. The word echoed in a way that made something inside me recoil. Behind her, Sophie stood watching us. Too still, too quiet. Her small fingers twisted into the ear of her stuffed bear. "Why are you giving Mom money?" she asked. Diane's eyes closed for just a second, so brief I almost missed it. Then they opened again, sharp as before. "Go to the car," she said. Sophie didn't move right away. Her eyes stayed on me, searching, like she was trying to understand something she didn't have the words for yet. "I'm taking her home," I said suddenly. "With me." Diane turned to me then, and for the first time, there was something sharper in her gaze. But underneath it, something else flickered again. Strain, calculation, maybe even fear. "You don't have a home," she said. The words hit harder than anything else that day. "That house belongs to me. It always has." I shook my head. Noah told you what you needed to hear," she interrupted. But this time, her voice wasn't as steady. "That doesn't make it true." It felt like the ground shifted again, like I was being buried right there beside him. "And Sophie," she continued, quieter now, almost like she was convincing herself as much as me, "is coming with me." Something inside my chest tightened so suddenly it hurt. "She's my daughter," I said. Diane's lips curved slightly, not quite a smile. "She's my granddaughter," she replied. Then, after a pause that lingered too long, she added softly, "She's all I have left." That was the first crack. By the time I reached the house that evening, everything was already gone. Sophie's room was empty in that unnatural way. Too clean, too quiet. The small things were missing. The things that made it hers. Her drawings, her blanket, the crooked line of stickers on the dresser. The locks had been changed. I stood in the doorway for a long time, not moving, not thinking. And then, a small, firm movement inside me. The baby. It wasn't gentle this time. It felt like insistence, like a reminder. "You're still here." I pressed my palm against my stomach and closed my eyes. "Okay," I whispered. And this time, I knew what I meant. That night, I searched Noah's office like someone who had run out of time. Drawers, folders, boxes, everything. I wasn't even sure what I was looking for. Just something that proved I hadn't imagined my life, that I hadn't built it on words that could disappear this easily. What I found instead was hidden. A second phone, tucked beneath a false panel, and a card. Dr. Adrian Cole Westbridge, Women's Clinic. On the back, in Noah's handwriting, "If anything happens, trust him." I stared at it for a long time. Noah hadn't been careless, not with things that mattered. This mattered. But something else settled in too, something colder. If he had prepared for something like this, why hadn't he prepared me? The next morning, I called. The receptionist didn't sound surprised. "He's been expecting you," she said. The exam room was warm, quiet, almost too normal for everything I was carrying inside me. When the sound of the heartbeat filled the room, something in me broke open. Strong, fast, certain. I covered my mouth as tears slipped out before I could stop them. "You're okay," Dr. Cole said gently. "Both of you." Then his expression changed. "Eliza, I need you to listen carefully." Something in his tone made my chest tighten. "Noah is alive." This time, I didn't react right away. I stared at him. Because some part of me, deep, buried, unspoken, had already known something wasn't right. "He found something at work," Dr. Cole continued. "Something dangerous. He went to federal authorities. They needed him hidden, completely." My head tilted slightly. "So he decided for me," I said quietly, "that I could handle burying him." Dr. Cole didn't answer immediately. "They couldn't risk it," he said finally. I let out a small, hollow breath. They never do. The room felt smaller suddenly. "They couldn't tell you," he said. "If you knew, it would show." My thoughts moved too fast, then too slow. Diane, her timing, her control, the way she had already started taking everything apart. "She knew something," I said. A pause. "We believe she's involved." And just like that, everything aligned in a way that made my stomach turn. This wasn't just grief. This was removal. Systematic. Intentional. "And Sophie?" I asked. "We'll get her back," he said. But something inside me had already decided. No one was coming fast enough. When I stood on Diane's doorstep 2 days later, I wasn't the same person who had stood in that cemetery. The fear was still there, but it had changed shape. The door opened. Her surprise lasted longer this time. "Eliza," she said, softer than before. Not cold, not sharp, just tired. Then she saw the officer, and the walls went back up. "This isn't necessary," she said. "It is," I replied, and then, "Mom!" Sophie's voice. She ran toward me, and when she collided into me, I dropped to my knees, holding her like I was anchoring myself to something real. "I thought you left," she whispered. "I didn't," I said. "I'm right here." Behind us, everything unraveled quickly. Voices, questions, names being spoken. Diane didn't argue at first. She just stood there, watching. Then, quietly, almost to herself, she said, "He chose you." I looked at her. "I didn't take him from you," I said. Her eyes met mine, and for a moment, all the control disappeared. I know, she whispered. Then the agent stepped forward, and it was over. That night, Sophie fell asleep with her hand resting on my stomach. Is there really a baby? She murmured. Yes, I said softly. She smiled against me. Good, she whispered. We need more people. I laughed quietly, even as tears slipped into my hairline. For the first time, I believed we might be okay. When Noah came back, he didn't say much at first. He just knelt in front of me, like he didn't trust himself to stand. I'm sorry, he said, over and over. I looked at him for a long time. You don't get to disappear and come back the same, I said. I know, he replied. And for the first time, I believed him. Some things don't go back to what they were. They become something else, stronger in some places, fragile in others. But real. That mattered more. Our son was born in the spring. Sophie held him like she had been waiting her whole life for him. He's part of us now, she said seriously. And I realized she was right. We weren't what we used to be. We were something harder to break. I used to think survival meant enduring whatever came your way. I was wrong. Sometimes survival means choosing, even when everything is taken from you. I didn't just survive. I decided. And that changed everything.